Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 13 of my Create This Book series by me and Moriah Elizabeth. Today I'm going to be doing 3 more prompts in the book. Before I begin, be sure to like and subscribe, and let's see what we can create today. Opening up to the first prompt of the day, which is to create a progression. So I'm supposed to start a drawing and then transform it into something completely different afterwards. So my first thought was how plants transform and progress, so I figured that would be a great place to start for this picture. So I created a C with a little sprout, and this is going to be the first picture that I've created, and now it's time to transform it into something completely different. So what better way to transform a beautiful sprout into a gorgeous full bloom flower? So that's what I'm doing here on this side of the page, just creating all of the petals and drawing out a flower, just your classic petaled flower with some back petals as well. And then after that, I wanted to do something on the other page as well, but first I had to add in a little worm for under the soil because, why not? And then it was time to go over to the other page, and for this side I wanted to create a tulip on this one to keep with the flower theme, but to transform this side of the page as well, and to really make it look like you couldn't tell where the drawing started and where it's going to end. And I decided that I should color it in, so I'm bringing in my Posca pens to color in this picture. I wanted the flower on the right side to be a beautiful sunflower, so I started off with some brown and some yellow along the petals, and I wanted to add multiple colors of yellow to just really add some dimension. Even though I'm using Posca pens and I like to do a lot of base colors with these, I still wanted to make sure there was a lot of variation in color in this and to really bring the image to life. So now it's time to go in and kind of outline some of the soil. I didn't go too heavy with the Posca pen here, but I did try and fill in the flowers completely and try to use that style to my advantage to really make some things pop, such as this flower, which I filled in completely with this beautiful yellow color, and I was having so much fun coloring these in, and it was going so smoothly until I made a couple of mistakes. So here is mistake 1. I accidentally made this pen spill a little too much paint, so I just kept going back and forth and grabbing paint from that paint splotch and putting it elsewhere to kind of save some of that paint. But anyway, after that I decided to move on to the tulip, and I decided to make this one pink because pink is one of my favorite colors, and I felt like it would just really complement the other colors in the drawing well. And then after that, it was finally time to color in the blue sky background, which I was super excited about. I felt like the picture was really coming to life, and then I made the same mistake again. This time even worse, even more. I decided to just ignore the problem completely at first because it was a little overwhelming that I spilled that much paint everywhere. I was kind of worried it got on my desk, which it did, and I continued to ignore the problem until I finished the page, which then it wiped up, which I cannot believe that it did. I thought for sure it would have stained the desk, but it did not, so that's awesome. And then I went ahead and moved along there and decided to add in some green to separate that blue and light green from each other, and then I colored in the little worm in the corner there and added in a little bit of detail to him to make him look like a real little worm. And then I decided to really make this drawing pop and come to life and separate things a little bit more, that I would add in some gel pen details. So I added in some gold and some silver stars, and it really made it shine and pop, and I really like the addition of that. The pages did get a little stuck together, but let's move on to the next prompt, which is to create nostalgia. So I'm supposed to try and make this page sentimental and nostalgic, and the first thing that came to mind for me was the Barbie movies. I loved Barbie growing up, and I loved the movies. I have a lot of them, and I used to watch them all the time, especially when I wasn't feeling well. So like, they were just my big comfort movies as a kid, and they still are. I love them so much. But my favorite one, because I'm an artist and she's an artist, is Barbie Rapunzel. So I decided to draw her from that movie, and I was having so much fun sketching her out. This eraser does not work though, so I have to keep that in mind for later. But now I'm going ahead and outlining the entire thing with this Ohuhu marker that I have, and then after I outlined everything, which took some time, it was actually really challenging to design her because she's just such an important character, and I wanted to get everything right, and it was kind of difficult. And I also wanted it to be in my style. I didn't want her to look exactly like the movie. I wanted it to look like I drew it and that I created it. So I tried really hard to make sure that I was drawing drawing inspiration from the movie, but that I wasn't copying the movie. And then after I outlined it, I could finally erase and go in with my Ohuhu marker colors, which I'm very excited to color her in. I started off with her skin first and tried to create a lot of variation in shading and kind of create a lot of little contours everywhere. I even added in some blush because you know Barbie's got her makeup on. So then I also added in a little bit of eyeshadow as well to the drawing. And then after that, I was so excited to work on the dress, so I brought in my purple Ohuhu markers and got started first with my darkest colors like I usually do. That way I can blend them out later. But for now, I added in some details to the puff sleeves and to the dress, and then I could go in with my solid purple color and color in the sleeves completely, which I had so much fun doing and coloring this in, and I love the color of her dress. So then it was time to color in the lighter shades of purple, so I first started with my shading again as well, and then I went in with an entire light purple all over it, and even added in a touch of pink to really warm up that purple color, and it kind of went everywhere for a second there, but I got it fixed, got it back together, and just kept on creating this dress. And now it was time for her hair, which it's Rapunzel, so her hair is obviously very important. So I was trying to get it right, and I tried to pick the right colors to kind of create that gold color, but also to make it read blonde and not gold or not brown. It was a very hard mix to get, but I think I landed on the right shades for it. Then I colored in her eyes. I decided she needed a little bit of a background, so I decided to put some pink in the background just to balance everything out. And to finish everything off, I decided to add in some gold accents all over the drawing, including on her dress and in her hair. And I also added a purple gel pen into the drawing to add in some sparkle to the dress and to create little sequins that would be on it as well. Finished off with some highlights, and then I also decided that the background needed a little bit of extra love, so I added in some stars just to really make it look magical. And here's how it turned out, and I love how it reflects in the sun, and I think it is so beautiful, and it is definitely very nostalgic for me. Let me know if you watched the Barbie movies. And now it's time for the last prompt of the day, which is to create an advertisement. So I'm bringing in my spring stickers from last year because I want to create an advertisement for spring because I'm really feeling done with winter at this point. I need to see some sun, but I decided to bring this ad over to Procreate and create it in there. So let's get into that. The first thing that I wanted to do was create my message, which I first wrote spring is here, but then I changed it to spring has sprung because I just felt like that had a better ring to it. And then after that, I positioned that text to be in the middle of my advertisement that I'm creating here. And now it's time to import images of my stickers. So that's what I'm doing, and just positioning them all around the wording. And I've kind of mapped it out already before when I had them in real life. So I'm just kind of matching along with what I already knew I wanted to create in my head with these spring stickers in mind. I had to switch the rainbow with the bees because the rainbow wasn't looking as good at the top. And then once I had everything, I decided to make spring has sprung green, add in a pink background, and I felt like we needed more color. So I added in this rainbow in the background and faded it a little bit more, made some drop shadows for the stickers, and then I also decided to outline the text. That way it was easier to read and easier to see. And then after that, I was pretty much done after I added some sparkles. So now it's time to export this and bring it into real life. So I printed out the design and cut it out, and then after that I decided it would look even better to round the corners. So that's what I did, and here is the advertisement for my spring stickers. New ones will be coming out soon, but these are the old ones, and you can shop them at anchoredartdesigns.com. If you're interested, I'll have them linked in the description and the comments. But here's a look at the first prompt again, where we created a progression and transformed this seedling sprout into this beautiful flower picture that was quite the hassle and created a few messes, but it turned out beautiful in the end. Here is the second prompt of the day, where we created nostalgia, and I created Barbie Rapunzel, which is super nostalgic for me. And let me know if you watched the Barbie movies growing up, because I absolutely loved them, and I love this drawing and how it turned out. I think it is so beautiful and fun. And here is the last page, where I created an advertisement for some of my spring stickers, which I will have down in the comments and the description if you're interested in shopping for some spring inspiration. But anyway, let me know what you guys thought about all of these prompts. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!